Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. I messed up this week the order of what I wanted to put out, the poem one day, the song one day, the joke the next day, forgot to do that, and then the story, and then PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to do my joke today, get back to my Jewish roots. One of the problems in many religions is that people, as they assimilate coming from different countries to the United States, they sometimes go so far in letting go of the old tradition in order to fit in that it can get really watered down and diluted. And this is really true in the Jewish tradition for some reason. In fact, so true that there's been such reforms to take away from the Orthodox way of observing that it gets down to something like this. These three different rabbis are discussing how reform their particular synagogue and congregation has gotten. So the first one says, listen, we are so reformed that we smoke in the temple. Okay? That's nothing. We're so reformed that on Yom Kippur, we eat ham sandwiches on the high holy day. Yeah, really? Yeah. Everyone says, you guys got nothing on me. We're so reformed that on Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, we have a sign outside that says, closed for the holidays. Can I have a room shot, please? All right. I always remind myself, and I believe there's some science to this, that the brain's default setting is always on a kind of apprehensiveness because of the amygdala, the part of us that like to hijack ourselves. It's like the monkey that keeps looking over its own shoulder as if something's about to pounce on it. And when you're surrounded by threats like that in your own mind, whether real or imagined, you can never afford to lower your guard. But just be alive and aware that right now, this moment, you're doing fine. I'm all right now. The fear that bad things will happen if you let your guard go down, it's unfounded. Let that sink in. You don't need to fear feeling all right. How do you feel all right? Well, these next couple of weeks, I'll be going back to my friend Jamie Barris's Awaken Joy mindset. If you want to understand how to be as happy as one can, which means not every single moment has a grin on your face and la-di-da, everything is fine. But if you understand that there's a choice, and that's an amazing feeling to know you have this amount of control over how your life turns out. So I say that you create user-friendly experiences. And of course, my prejudice lies towards yoga. However, I remind everyone, it's the joy of movement that is the important, bigger principle. Continue to do whatever you do to move your body, whether it's dance or bike or jog or mountain climb or surf or skateboard, whatever it is. Keep moving and find the joy that the body expresses when it's not still. Second thing is create. Find the inner artist in you. If you want to do the classical forms, I'm all for it. Paint, sculpt, sing, dance, whatever it is that brings out the aesthetic in you. Create a garden, the way you color coordinate your outfit, the way you do your chromotherapy in the food you use, the way you use your words to say beautiful and sweet things. However it is, find the inner artist and let it express itself through creativity. In fact, you might find that creativity is the best solution for any problem that you have, coming up with something new and innovative. Then have a nourishment list. What are the things that really jazz you in your life? What do you like to do that you ought to put more time in? So your life is spent doing that, whether it's walking in the forest, whether it's speaking to good friends, whether it's making a nourishing meal, whether it's having an instrument that you play. It doesn't really matter what it is, but if it feeds you and you get a sense of pleasure, happiness, contentment just in the moment, do that, make a list of it, make sure every single day you do some of it, if not as much of it as you can. Then homo ludens, human beings love to play. In one way, I guess, means fooling around with your friends. So comedy is really, really important here. But play can also be being adventurous. So when you travel, and again, if you're not traveling overseas into another state, it doesn't matter. There's probably plenty of things in your own environment that you haven't taken advantage of. And I don't only mean like if you live in a city and then people come to visit you, you take them to see the sites that you never go to yourself when you live in the city. But there's so many things right around you. Like one of the things I love is my wife and I travel to different neighborhoods in the city just to see the kind of architecture and especially the old brickwork where there's some pride in what they did and they just slap it together with the lowest cost material they could find. Something as simple as that, and like connects you to the city, and you find and discover new areas that you never saw before, maybe new restaurants, new shops, whatever it is. But whatever is adventurous play for you, get out there and do something that really enlivens you. And then, of course, meditating is really important. Sitting some time, stillness, whether it's just observing the clouds as they go by, or the human scene, or literally sitting in silence with your eyes closed and letting the mirror of your mind reflect back to you what's going on. And then for some people, journaling is really helpful. Writing down stream of thought, expressing yourself honestly, brutally honest, saying things that maybe you would never say out loud, but you feel like no one's going to know this. So I'm going to be as cut to the bone and say the raw truth. And then probably the most important thing for me is what I call the joy buddy. Have a friend who, when you get together with them, at least weekly, I hope, right? The only reason why you're together is to celebrate being alive and having a good time. Go to the museum, go to a concert, go to the park, sit in the piazza, have a cappuccino, find different, old time diners to go. It doesn't matter what it is. But when you get together, the whole purpose of being together is to recognize we're alive. We've made it to this moment. We're together. Isn't this wonderful? I'm so happy that you're my friend. See if that works.